Well, I have to admit, I knew this day would come. The day the SJWs would come for my beloved childhood show, Sesame Street. That's right. In case you didn't know, there's been a battle going on today about whether or not Bert and Ernie got down and dirty. It's been widely reported. Now, we'll look at a few articles that a former writer on the show decided to come out and say, oh, yeah, Bert and Ernie puppets on the show, oh, yeah, they were gay. Of course, every far-left progressive media outlet jumped on this. There's been about 1,000 articles. I could have picked just about any one I wanted. It was all pushing the same narrative. But Sesame Street themselves has come out to say, get the fuck out of here with that. Former Sesame Street Mark Saltzman said in a new interview that Bert and Ernie are, of course, a gay couple, as many viewers have suspected for decades. No. Viewers of Sesame Street who are childlike in both age and actual mindset aren't thinking about whether or not Bert and Ernie are penetrating each other. I watched Sesame Street when I was growing up, and Bert and Ernie were best friends who happened to share an apartment. I never questioned whether or not their puppet wangs touched each other. Okay? That's not what children worry about. That's what adults with childlike minds worry about. Bert and Ernie, as many viewers suspected. However, the children's series later released a statement denying the claim. I remember one time in the column from the San Francisco Chronicle, a preschooler in the city turned to mom and asked, "Are Bert and Ernie lovers?" And then coming from a preschooler was fun, Saltzman told Queer Tea on Sunday, September 16th. That got passed on, and everyone had a chuckle and went back to it. That's right, because that question is, of course, laughable. I always felt that without a huge agenda, when I was writing Bert and Ernie, they were. I didn't have any other way to contextualize them. I just wonder if. Now, I wanna just point out here. Look, you want to be gay? That's cool. I don't think that is what children need to be worried about in their daytime television. And you know, it's an interesting spot to be. Do you want to explore these issues with a toddler? I don't think that's the time, and I don't think it's the place. Now, it's not like they're pushing it on the television show, which would be much more egregious, in my opinion. But, of course, we have to have more narrative. It was the Bert and Ernie relationship. They couldn't just be two guys that were friends, folks. They had to be in a relationship. That's how all these SJW writers think. Two guys can't be friends without being something more. Same with two girls. Though Saltzman envisioned Bert and Ernie as a couple, he admitted that he would never have said that to the head writer. "Oh, I'm writing this. This is my partner and me." You had characters that appealed to a gay audience, he added, and Snuffleupagus, this depressed person nobody can see, that's soft of Kafka. It's sort of gay closeted too? What? What? After Saltzman's comment made headlines, Sesame Street released a statement on Twitter saying, as we've always said, and we'll go to the statement. Bert and Ernie were originally performed by Frank Oz and Muppets creator Jim Henson, respectively. Puppeteers Eric Jacobson and Peter Linz have since assumed the role. we can look at the Sesame Street statement. Please see our statement below. Bert and Ernie. They have to make a statement because the internet demands their pound of flesh. As we have always said, Bert and Ernie are best friends. They were created to teach preschoolers that people can be good friends with those whom they are very different from themselves, even though they are identified as male characters and possess many human traits and characteristics, as most Sesame Street Muppets do. They remain puppets and do not have a sexual orientation. Boom! That's right, folks. That's right. Childlike minds of the SJW community. Puppets are, in fact, just stuffed animals. They don't have an orientation. And then, of course, but what about Miss Piggy and Kermit? Those were Muppets. I mean, people are obsessed. So basically, Muppets possess every single human trait except the ability to love each other in a romantic way. Gee, I wonder if you're pushing an agenda. I see a rainbow flag and a blue check mark. So glad this is cleared up. It's a preschool show. Why would orientation or couples in general be a thing? Because people's sexual orientation is a fact of life. Children know this. No, children don't need to explore this sort of thing. They don't need propaganda out there. They don't need their parents trying to find a story where none exists. Now, obviously, most people's reaction to this is simply like, get a life. We can look at AJ, which is just like a LGBT clickbait place. Sesame Street denied that Bert and Ernie are a gay couple after ex-writers said that they were written in that way, saying that puppets do not have orientation. Now, by the way, he didn't say they were written to be gay. He just said he imagined them that way. And people are calling out the double standard. Disappointing statement. Preschoolers can learn about being very different people in love as well. Time to embrace diversity and stop homophobia. That's right, Sesame Street. Get woke. Top comment. Oh, for fuck's sake. You need some real problems to worry about. Why is Sesame Street putting out merch like this? I doubt they licensed it. Now, if you want to be gay, be gay. I have many gay friends. I support and endorse anybody's right to be happy. If you have a problem with that, that is your problem, not their own. But I'm keenly aware of problematic indoctrination of children. In the same way that you have over-sexualized TV characters and cartoons leading to rise in teenage pregnancy, you can also have the over-representation of certain ideologies and sexualities that lead to a rise in other things. This is why we have things like trans trenders. Are there trans folks out there? Sure. Is there a reason you have more than ever right now? Probably. You know, you could argue that, well, it's because, you know, there's more representation or people are more accepting of it, and that's probably part of it. But you also have the forced, in many ways, indoctrination or propaganda that is fed to young children through cartoons and TV shows that parents use to babysit their children. You know, there was a time when you could just put your kid down in front of the TV and let them watch wholesome entertainment. Things that weren't always necessarily pushing an agenda, like Bugs Bunny, for example. Now, there may be deep-rooted things there that somebody might be able to dig up, but certainly the kids weren't picking up on it. Now, when you talk about forcing this sort of stuff into shows like Sesame Street or into the Muppets, it feels like, to me, like propaganda. What do you think? Should be an interesting battle. Sesame Street versus SJWs. Fight.